our protagonist Yosef is finally getting married. But who is his bride Osnat, about whom we know so little? According to the Midrash in Pirkei de Rabbi Eliezer, she is the daughter of Dinah and Shechem, born to her before Shimon and Levi massacred the city. The brothers, in their zealotry, wanted to kill her as well, so Yaakov had to send her out of the house for her own protection. But the angel Michael brought her down to Mitzrayim, put her in Potiphar's house, where she was adopted and raised before eventually marrying Yosef, as she does in our Parsha this week. What do Chazal mean when they tell us the story? What are they trying to communicate to us? So on one level, I think they're trying to protect Yosef from the accusation of intermarriage. Heaven forbid that Yosef should marry the daughter of a Kohen On as opposed to a member of Yaakov's extended family. On another, perhaps it's an attempt to integrate an element of hashgacha into the story, a little bit more of the divine hand guiding the events. But I think between the lines there's something a little subtler going on. You see, Yosef seems to have a very tight connection with Shechem. His story almost begins, so to speak, with being sent out to Shechem to go visit his brothers. Then in the middle, Yaakov gives Yosef the city of Shechem. He will give Shechem echad al achecha, bestowing that city to be part of Yosef's inheritance. And at the very end of his life, we find that Yosef is actually buried in Shechem at the end of Sefer Yehoshua. What does this connection between Yosef and the city of Shechem mean? So I think we could go back to last week's Parsha to find a little bit of insight there. You see, when Yaakov sends Yosef to go visit his brothers, he uses an odd kind of language. He says, you should go out to your brothers and see, Re'ei et shalom achecha vet shalom hatzon. Go see the peace of your brothers and the peace of tzon. So on a simple level, he's going to check in on them, see how they're doing, see if they need anything. But the word shalom there is very reminiscent of just a few psukim earlier. The brothers there are said to hate Yosef, vayisneu oto, velo yachalu dabaro l'shalom. They could not speak peacefully to him. So when Yaakov sends Yosef to go visit them in Shechem, and he says to go find the shalom achecha, he's looking for that peace that was missing before. In some sense, he's looking to facilitate a family reconciliation at that place. And Yosef goes with that hope. However, that doesn't seem to pan out. Yosef arrives, he meets the mysterious Ish there, and when the Ish asks where he was going, it says, Yosef replies, Et achai anochi mevakesh. I am looking for my brothers. I am looking for that sense of brotherliness and family, but the brothers have left. They've departed from that place. They went to Dotan. They see Yosef merachok, vayiru oto merachok, uveterem yikrav alehem, vayinakalu oto lahamito. Before he even arrived, they were planning his demise. They didn't wait for him to arrive and wait for that conciliatory moment that might have happened. Instead, they push him away even before he manages to appear. And so Shechem, this city that should be the foundation for brotherly reconciliation, ends up being undercut. But Yosef, I think, does not give up on this dream of familial reconciliation. And when the brothers come in our Parsha this week to see him, he begins trying to facilitate that process. Now, revealing himself to the brothers wouldn't facilitate the goal that he's looking for. So he has to carefully engineer and mastermind an experience that will help the brothers feel the guilt, realize that they did something wrong, perhaps appreciate the suffering they caused to Yosef. As Yosef had been thrown into a bore and put into prison, so too they were. And to achieve a certain kind of tshuva, the ability to correct their mistakes and realize the importance of familial connection and caring for family and not hating family. Most representative of this change, which is facilitated by the beginning of next week's Parsha, is Yehuda. Yehuda, back in Parashat Vayeshev, said, what would be the value, what would be the profit in killing our brother? He refers to his brother as a piece of property, something that, if it behaves poorly, can be disposed of. And maybe we can make a quick buck while we're at it. But by the beginning of Vayigash, Yehuda has learned. He realizes the importance of family and offers himself in the place of his brother Binyamin, to protect the rest of the brothers, and his elderly father Yaakov back home. So Yehuda clearly has learned this lesson. With this in mind, this theme of familial connection, I think we could better understand the Midrash that we began with. You see, Shimon and Levi, in their story with Shechem, might claim to be motivated by familial values, but it seems that they're more motivated by familial honor. At the very end of that section, they reply to Yaakov's objections to their killing the city of Shechem and say, "Hachezonah yaseh achotenu." Will our sister be made into a zonah? And I think the Dagish Chazak there is on the word zonah. They care more about the concern of znut, the promiscuity and the familial reputation, than they do about the actual members of the family. And that's why when Osnat comes onto the scene, she's a living, breathing symbol of znut that had happened previously, and she has to be killed and maybe with Yaakov's protection expelled. But Yosef realizes the true value of family. And he, when he meets Osnat, instead of expelling her, trying to kill her, embraces her, brings her back into the familial fold. And similarly, as we see in our Parsha this week, when he has a position of power, instead of using it to hold dominion over his brothers or to punish them for what they've done to him, he uses it to try to reforge those bonds of family, to reforge the connections that were meant to be forged properly in Shechem so long ago. Shabbat Shalom and Chanukah Sameach.